Say something now?
Hello? Hello.
Hold on. There we go. Say something now.
Hello. Hello.
There we go.
Have we been all this time without?
This whole time. 13 minutes. You want to reread it?
So guys, Seth forgot to push
Hey, that's his fault. He's not here.
Seth forgot to push the button on the microphone.
I'm sorry.
I didn't push the button on the microphone.
Well, y'all always
I
make
hooked it
sure it's
up.
on, and I didn't even think about
I know.
it.
So listen, we're reading.
Sorry, y'all.
Guess where we are? Shabbat Shalom. We are reading Matthew 14 verse 1, and we're going to go through 15 verse 9. So we are right now, basically what we've gone through is when Herodas had Yochanan, the immerser, John the immerser, beheaded for Herodias, his wife, and he did it for her daughter because she danced well, and he said, "Oh, you've danced so well, I'll give you whatever you ask for." So he made an oath to her. So she went to her mother, and her mother said, "Ask for Yochanan's head." And so she did, and he begrudgingly had Yochanan beheaded. And so we have come to the place where Yahushua is in the wilderness. He's gone into the wilderness to pray because he's very sad that his cousin has been killed. And they've just fed probably 10 to 12,000 people. They've seen this miracle, and now we are on the water. And they see him walking across the water, and Peter jumps. Peter says, call me, Master, call me. And Yahushua says, come, walk to me. He jumps out of the boat, and he's walking on the water, and then he looks around and he goes, oh, I can't walk on water. That's kind of what happens, isn't it? And he started sinking. So he took his eye off Yahushua. He took his eye off the goal, and Yahushua's the door. Listen, it's like the walk we're on right now. Our path is walking towards the kingdom, right? Mm-hmm. The righteous path that we're on, which is the walk of Torah, carries us to the kingdom door, and that is our Savior. When we get there, we better look like Him, and we're going to see that today in some of the words that we're going to read. But Bethany was just saying, and we were talking about the fact that so many times we pray for trials, right, and Abba gives us the trial. He's like, okay, we're going to give you that trial. I'm going to put you through this test. We're going to grow you and get you out of this habit that you're not wanting anymore. Mm-hmm. And then we get in the middle of it, and what do?
You say, save me.
Save me. I don't want
this anymore. After we just prayed it.
Yeah, we just prayed it. And do we forget what we asked for? Abba, give me patience, please. Oh, Yah, give me patience. What do we have? Our kids, mama. Yeah, and you're like, oh, I don't want this anymore.
That's the other thing, though. Giving patience and giving. He's not going to give us patience. We have to work to get the patience. We have to go through the trials to get the patience.
You have to learn to become patient. Yes. And I've been probably one of the, and you guys know because y'all been around me a long time. Am I the most patient person in the world that I used to be? No, when I said I want this, I mean I want it yesterday. So why have I not got it now? I mean, where is it?
You've grown though, yes, ma'am.
But that's what this is about.
It's about walking to grow closer to Yah.
There's not one of us on this walk that if we're the same, I'm going to tell you, if we're the same next week as we are today, we're not growing. Mm-hmm. And that means you're not walking down the path.
That's when it's time for self-examination.
Exactly. And Bethany said Abba Yahweh has already started working on her right now. So,
and some of the things that we want to work on, this is from my personal experience, some of the things that we want to work on is not what He's going to allow us to work on at that time.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's other things we need to work on to get that.
That He sees in us that we need to work on. Correct. Yes. Yeah. And I've been noticing that a lot lately myself. So.
Well, what does Hebrews tell us? When we're in the middle of the trial, when you're in the middle of the fire, when the anvil's coming down and beating you into the shape that you're supposed to be, what should we be doing? Help, get me out from under this.
Stand firm in belief.
Stand firm and walk through it and it actually says you should think Abba Yahweh.
Yeah.
Yes.
That He's putting you through the
That
trials
means
and the
you're
tests.
His, and He loves you.
There you go.
You start seeing the good in it.
12. You see that you're growing.
Instead of the negative of like, oh, this feels horrible.
Yeah.
You start seeing the positive in the trial that you're enduring.
And guess what? If you get pulled out of that water, do we ever see that Peter jumped back in the water and walked on it ever again? No. If you get pulled out of that water, you may not get the chance to walk that out again. So you may keep going. I like when the tribe of Yasharel, the house of Yasharel, was walking around Mount Sinai
like
and around
and
around. And finally Yahweh said, stop. You're going in circles. Go forward. Move forward. Get past this mountain and go forward. And when they did, they started growing.
Yes.
Right.
So that's what we have to do. Sometimes we walk around that mountain, and that mountain may be anger, it may be jealousy, it may be grief. I've seen some people grieve for 20 years for a lost loved one or for a lost marriage. And a lost child, I can understand.
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean, I can understand that. But what we always have to remember is that Yah has got the view from atop. He knows everything that's coming down the road. He knows what is in the path of our children, of our spouses, of us. And He will do things that don't seem right to us, but He's got a purpose. And we may not see it right then.
Correct.
It's not until later when we start realizing why. And even 10 years later, we'll realize something else of why we went through that.
And guess what? There's some things we may never get answered until we get into the kingdom.
And we have to learn to be okay with that.
That's
Accept
right.
That
Yes.
it is, that's where we put our faith in Him. And
That's
our trust.
right.
And you're like, okay, I trust that He allowed that to happen for a reason.
And you went through something.
I went through a lot.
You went through a lot. But I mean, just the loss of your mom.
Yeah. That was a hard one.
That was a very hard one. So you
Still
and
battling
you were
things.
a little baby.
Yeah.
How old were you?
3.
3 years old. So guys, we don't know what Yahweh is doing,
Right.
but He's got purpose, and He's going to use everything that you went through to help someone else who's going through the same
Look
thing.
at these two.
Yeah.
They deal with abandonment too.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
Oh, look, this one to the point his eyes are crossing. I'm worried.
But yeah, they're going through abandonment too, and so I have to teach them how to handle it as well.
That's right.
And if I teach them the wrong way, then they're going to pick up everything that I did.
So
you know?
everything that Hasatan means to be used to destroy you, some people it's going to destroy.
Yeah.
But those who reach out and seek Yahweh, they're going to be saved. They're going to be healed. So you could have still been going around that mountain, but you didn't. You're going forward.
I have a lot of
you're
habits
teaching
that I
them.
formed because of it.
Yes.
And that is the thing I'm breaking off, is trying to break off those habits.
And let me ask you, are some of those habits possibly from vows you made?
Yeah.
So
I'll never let anybody hurt me to that point again.
I did that same thing,
I'll
Bethany.
never open up to anybody. I'll never let anybody see me vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean-
I don't cry in front of these kids, and
Yeah.
when they came back, I let down that wall and I just started crying. Because they needed to see me like that.
Now she's going to make me cry.
They never
Stop.
see
Oh,
me.
made me cry.
I have to
We all
be,
gonna cry.
We're going to have a
Good cry, sis.
cry song.
no, but I have to be the strong one. I have
Yes.
to be the one to be like, I got you, it's all good, you know. When they cry, I'm like, good, it's fine, you know. And so,
You're their strength.
but I have to realize sometimes strength comes in vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because if
You
I'm
have to be
not-
open.
right,
You have to be open.
because I'm really weak when I'm trying to cover up that
Oh, I've seen that.
that crime.
You try to be that mean girl thing.
Yes, that's why I was mean in school,
I know.
because I didn't want anybody to see me down.
Yeah. You didn't want anyone to see you as weak
Right.
because you had been that little weak one.
So I became like very prideful. I became like, and I just became bitter.
Well, and what Yah has been doing is I've watched you grow
You've been
for
watching me
for
grow.
the years I have been watching you
watching
grow.
me.
and let me tell you, it has been such a blessing to see this
All of
family,
us.
all
Yeah.
of us growing.
We
And
all
as y'all
grow.
are growing, I'm growing. I mean, we're all
Oh
changing and
gosh,
growing.
you've grown so much.
I know I'm getting fat, aren't I? I've got to go on a diet.
No, nothing like that.
Did you hear her? Alas. But this is a walk, and it's a walk of growth. Okay. So guys, did we catch you up? I hope we did. Did we catch them up? Is anybody?
See?
I think
Did anybody
everybody
get
knows.
left? So we need to look at where we actually started talking and post on the video. Pass by the first 13 minutes is no good. Okay. So Yahushua just pulled Peter out of the water, and he said, "Oh, you of little belief, why did you doubt?" And when they came into the boat, the wind stopped. So there you go, a test. And was it specifically for Peter? Maybe. Could have been. And those in the boat came and did bow to him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of Elohim." Did they not already see that when he fed 10,000 people with two little fishes and 5 loaves of bread? You know?
Yeah.
I would have been like, wow.
Yeah.
Abba Yahweh really gives to his son anything he asks for.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not until he lifts Peter and the wind stops blowing. Their lives were in jeopardy. Sometimes it takes life-threatening things to wake you up to truth. Okay, and having passed over, they came to the land of Gennesar. And we're in verse 35. And when the men of that place recognized him, they sent out into all that surrounding country and brought to him all who were sick, and they begged him to let them only touch the tzitzit of his garment, and as many as touched it were completely healed. You do. Would you stand up? I just want. Okay, so guys, the hem of his garment would be the tzitzits. We gotta get you a new pair. I've got a pair up there for you. Okay. But these tzitzits were what was called the hem of his garment. So can you imagine all the people that just wanted to touch a tzitzit? Why do you wear your tzitzits?
I wear them to help me I wear them to remind me of what the commandments are and to walk by the way. And I don't fully do it all the time. I beat myself up by not doing that, but I gotta just remember that I'm not gonna get all this perfect. You know what I mean? But it's a good reminder to have on. And I was actually talking to Bethany last week. I was like, man, when I get underneath trucks, I got to take them off and put them on. I got to take them off. So I was like, you know what? I said, I'm thinking about not wearing them, but I got to pray about it. And I prayed about it, and I decided to wear them.
Okay,
still.
Put them in your pants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also told
Tuck them
him,
in.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, then keep them on his desk right there.
Yeah.
As long as you're looking at it. I mean, I think, yeah, it's important to wear them, but it's a reminder.
Yeah,
It's-
I'm going to keep them on.
What? So
I'm just going to keep them on.
let me tell you something, guys, and this is for you people out there. You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, you're honoring the laws. You are so weak, and you're a bunch of sissy people." Let me tell you something. Anyone who stands up and follows the walk that Yahushua walked is not a sissy. That is a real man, and he is following in the footsteps of mighty men, such as King David, such as Abraham, Yishak, Yaakov. These men were not sissies, and when you go back and you actually study who they are, these are real men. Yahusha.
I said Moshe.
Oh, Moshe. Moshe was a
Yes.
mighty man. He was a
Yes.
king.
Most humble man.
He was a king and a
He
general.
was so humbled through it, too.
In Numbers 12, Abba calls him the most humble man on earth. That's pretty humble. He didn't expect anything. So this is a testimony. When he wears the tzitzits, any man that wears tzitzits or young men that wear tzitzits, what do people say? What are you, Jewish?
Yeah. Why do you have them on? Like, actually, now nobody really even says anything anymore. But I get like vendors every now and then say something. Alex said something the other day, but he was just, I mean, he didn't make fun of it or anything. Nobody makes fun of it anymore. So I'm just like, okay. That was my biggest fear of wearing them, caring what other people thought about. But when I started wearing them, nobody said anything. So I was like, okay. Like,
That just
I'm not
shows
that
how much
important.
doubt we
You
have
know
in
what I
our
mean?
minds.
Yeah. And I'm like, but that, you know, that goes to show of me where I'm at in my head. You know what I mean? And
That's how
like
I
thinking
am
about
too.
what other people think of me. I don't care what
I like
people
that
think.
too.
I shouldn't care what people think of me.
So, guys, our walk, as we walk it out, you're being changed. And
Yes.
what I have seen is there is joy and there's blessings on this walk. So, we don't have a whole lot of friends. It's not that we...
What's that?
Our family is very small because a lot of the friends, they think we're weird, and we are, because what did Abba Yah say? You're my peculiar children.
Because they're out of the world. They're of the world.
see, they have friends,
That's right.
we have family.
But I mean,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're
I
family,
like it
we're brothers,
small.
exactly.
I do too.
I like having the family rather as opposed to having friends because I don't.
But
I've already had a lot of
my
friends.
family,
Yeah.
my family
there.
are my friends.
Mhm.
I mean, like I can call on Seth and he can come help me get a goat out of the out of the feed trough. So
Oh,
that's
fun.
family and friend. And Bethany came with here and y'all. What was it? It was a little hurt lamb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Y'all are
I had to get
running.
manly with it, okay?
she had
Track
to
runner.
She
I
was,
get it roughed up.
she turned into like. I was like,
Like,
move
come on,
out of the
do
way,
this."
Seth. She's after. So that is
My track
family.
days pay off.
But it's the ones who accept and love you for just where you are. Okay, we're going into 15. Are y'all ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then there came to Yahushua scribes and Pharisees. We're going to see in just a little bit that the scribes and Pharisees, well, the scribes were talked about because the tribe of Yehuda will always, that was where the scribe will always come from. And the scepter will always be held by Yehuda, which is what people today call the Jews. But we are not Jewish. No, not
It's a
Jewish.
stereotype.
Yep. So here come the Pharisees and the scribes. Why are they coming? Because all these people are getting healed, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And they say, why do your taught ones transgress the traditions of the elders? For they do not wash their hands when they eat bread. Have mercy.
Holy Talmud. I mean, what?
Holy Talmud. So guys, the Pharisees, it's the Talmud, which is what they taught, is very pharisaical. It's 20. Listen, I did a little bit of research. It's 20 volumes.
God.
Is how many books are in the Talmud. So you've got 20 volumes. And it is a rabbinical writing, and it has been around since 200 BC, which is about when the Pharisees came to be, right? Somewhere around that period, and when they came into Jerusalem. So the traditions of the elders is what they're asking. Your taught ones aren't following the traditions of the elders. Well, first of all, you're not going to find a law anywhere in the commandments to wash your hands. It's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. Wash your hands before every meal. Wash your hands before you touch your face. But it is not a law except in Exodus
Exodus
30,
30.
verse 17 through 21. And we're going to look at that real quick. So while Seth is pulling that up, what's wrong?
No, we're good.
Nothing. But
Exodus what?
Exodus 30, verse 17 through 21. Let me go over there too.
Froze.
We're frozen.
Oh, never mind. I went back to it.
What?
Exodus 30, verse 20, or 17.
17.
Yes, sir. I can't find it.
You want me to read through 21?
Yes, please.
And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, And you shall make a basin of bronze with its stand, also of bronze for washing, and you shall put it between the tent of appointment and the slaughter place, and shall put water in it. And Aaron and his sons shall wash from it their hands and their feet. When they go into the tent of appointment, or when they come near the slaughter place to attend to burn an offering made by fire to Yahuwah, they wash with water lest they die. And they shall wash their hands and their feet lest they die. And it shall be a law forever to them, to him and his seed throughout their generations.
Okay, so this is the only command you're going to find in scriptures to wash your hands.
And it's talking about the slaughtering
Okay, why?
because of the blood.
Okay, but why? Let me tell you why. Okay, they had to wash their feet with the water from the laver before they could go into the tabernacle.
Yep.
But their hands had to be washed because what they were burning on the altar was food. Part of it was burned up. If it was an ascending offering, it was burned completely up. But there's a grate on the altar. There's forks that they use, utensils they use. Their hands had to be clean because this was going to be eaten by whom?
The high priest.
By the priest. It was also going to be eaten by the people who brought it. If it's a Thanksgiving offering, if it's a peace offering, sin offering was only eaten by the Levites. But
Yeah.
if it were any of the other offerings, with the exception of the ascending offering, and that was just an offering where you're like, Abba, I just want to draw ever so closer to you, and the whole thing was burned up. But the other ones were eaten. So this is the only place you find wash your hands. So what did the Pharisees do? They turned it into a law that everybody has to wash their hands before they eat. And like I said, it is not a commandment. You're not going to find it anywhere in Scripture. But it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's good to.
It's
for
very good
bacteria
idea.
or whatnot. You know,
That's especially today.
You don't
You
know what
don't
you
know what
touch.
is out there,
the
right?
doorknobs.
But he, which is Yahushua, answering, said to them, why do you also transgress the command of Elohim because of your tradition? Let me tell you something, guys. The Talmud, and this is something that Shaul was raised learning, was the Talmud. It is not a good thing. Not good at all. And so the Talmud is where all the traditions of the Pharisees came from. The traditions of, and a lot of it was the passed on oral tradition. That was, listen, if I start a rumor with Seth and we pass it around the room, when it gets back to me, do you think it's going to look anything like how it started?
It's gonna be totally different.
It's going to look crazy. And if it goes down through 6 generations,
Oh, wow.
how different is it going to be? So the Mishnah, the oral tradition, which was passed down, and then parts of it were put into the Talmud and turned into law. Let's see, it was called the Talmud. It was also called, there were 2 other names for it that they call it today, the Garara or something close to that. And I know I'm totally butchering that word. But the Talmud is what has caused them the stumbling block. What does the scripture say in Deuteronomy? Don't add to or take away from the word.
Right.
Who took away? Christians.
Christians took away.
Who added to?
Pharisees.
The Pharisees added to. So much writing that they couldn't even keep it. Okay, so Yahushua's asking them, okay, so why do you also transgress my Father's commandments because of your tradition of the Talmud? For Elohim has commanded, saying, respect your father and your mother, and he who curses his father and mother, let him be put to death. But you say, whoever says to his father or mother, whatever profit you might have received from me has been dedicated. So mom and dad, I know I'm supposed to be taking care of you, but sorry about your luck. I know you're old. I know you need some financial gain, but I've dedicated it to the temple, so you're not going to get anything. This is what Yahushua's saying.
Is this like when they're asking for help?
This is, well, when you honor your father and mother, it means you're supposed to be taking care of them.
Yeah, like later on in life.
Yeah, later on in life. And Yahushua's saying, you're not even allowing the men and the women
And
to.
what would a curse be?
A curse?
Like, what would be an example of cursing your father or your mother?
Oh, listen, even belittling, we're going to get into that.
Okay.
Even talking lightly of your parents, making fun of your parents is not honoring your parents. I mean, guys,
I just
we've
always wondered what that was.
all done that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Listen, because we live in the most disrespectful age that I've ever seen for honoring the parents.
Oh yes.
There's no honor.
No.
There's no morals left. So, I mean, everyone is guilty of it. What are we going to do? Go out there and stone each other? I mean,
Because then we would
I'm going to get the biggest stone. I'm going to throw the first one.
Hit us all.
So, okay, so do you see what's going on? They have nullified the commandment of honor your father and mother. Wait, what's the rest of that? So that it goes well for you in the land in which you live. I mean, that's a pretty big commandment. It's a commandment with like a blessing attached to it. So, but you say, whoever says to his father or mother, whatever profit you might have received from me has been dedicated, is certainly released from respecting his father or mother. And that's what the Pharisees are saying. So you Pharisees have nullified the command of Elohim by your tradition. Hypocrites. That's what he calls them. You hypocrites. Yeshayahu rightly prophesied about you, saying, This people draw near to me with their mouth and respect me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain do they worship me, teaching the teachings of the commands of men. But they're not teaching the commands of Yahweh. So I want you to go to Mark 7, and we're going to read, I think it's 1. I'm going to have to go with you to make sure what we're supposed to be reading here. It's going to be 7. Do you see where it is?
He's taught ones with the father filled. Unwashed hands,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Start in 1.
And the Pharisees and some of the scribes assembled to him, having come from Jerusalem. And seeing some of his taught ones eat bread and with defiled, that is, with unwashed hands, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Yehudim do not eat unless they wash their hands thoroughly, holding fast to the traditions of elders, and coming from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash. And there are many other traditions which they have received and hold fast, and washing of cups and utensils and copper vessels and couches. Okay.
Keep going.
Then the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, Why do your taught ones not walk according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands? And he answering said to them, What did Yeshayahu the prophecy concerning you hypocrites, as it has been written, this people respect me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. And in vain they do worship me, teaching as teachings of the commands of men. Forsaking the command of Elohim, you hold fast to the tradition of men. And he said to him, Well, do you set aside the command of Elohim in order to guard your tradition? For Moshe said, Respect your father and your mother, and he who curses father or mother, let him be put to death. But you say, if a man says to his father or mother, whatever profit you might have received from me is korban, that is a gift, you no longer let him do any matter at all for his father or his mother, nullifying the word of Elohim through your tradition, which you have handed down, and many such traditions you do.
And what does it say in Scripture? And I wish I could remember the exact location of that verse right now, but it says we have received lies from our father, and we have followed in the lies of the fathers. Would you look that one up for me, Bethany? We have so listen to what he's saying here. Excuse me. And would you go to, let's see.
Yes.
No, not yet.
Okay.
So he said, let me ask you something. We spoke about this in the beginning and nobody heard. I wonder why they didn't hear. Oh, Hasatan made us forget to push that little red button. But listen, traditions of men. What traditions do we have today? We talked about this. How the holidays are the traditions of men. Are they Yahweh's traditional holidays, or are they men's? Did they come from the United States of America or from across the seas from other nations? Both. They came from everywhere else, guys. The people respect me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Oh, I love Jesus, but I'm not under that law. I don't follow that law. Traditions of men have taught me I'm not under that law because it's the traditions of the line seminary that has taught them this. But we're going to follow Christmas. Let's have Christmas. Let's have a Christmas party. Let's erect that big tall Christmas tree in the church.
It was illegal.
Up until the 1800s, it was. It was highly illegal.
What changed it? He didn't change it.
Nothing changed in
Men
Scripture.
changed it.
Exactly.
In fact, Jeremiah 10, would you go there?
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah 10 says, don't do what the other nations do. So go to Jeremiah 10 and read 1 through 4.
They actually changed the Sabbath day too.
The other big tradition that they changed, and this was brought about by the Roman Catholic Church, was they changed the seventh day on Shabbat. They said, oh, no. We're going to make it the sun god day, the first day of the week. So everyone does what? Oh, we're following the traditions of our fathers. Did you find the lies of our fathers?
I don't think it's it, but I'm going to try to read it. It's Jeremiah 16:19.
What does it say?
It says, O Yahuwah, my strength and my stronghold and my refuge in the day of distress, the nations shall come to you from the ends of the earth and say, our fathers have inherited only falsehood,
That's it.
futility, and there is no value in them.
So,
Okay.
so there's other places in scriptures where it says the same thing. Our fathers have inherited lies from their fathers, falsehoods from their fathers. And it's gone down through generation to generation for the last 2,000 years. Those lies have become bigger and worse. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 10:1. Hear the word which Yahuwah speaks to you, O house of Yasharel. Thus said Yahuwah, do not learn the ways of the nations, and do not be awed by the signs of the heavens, for the nations are awed by them. For the laws of these people are worthless. For one cuts a tree from the forest, work for the hands of a craftsman with a cutting tool. They beautify it with silver and gold, and they strengthen it with nails and hammers, so that it does not topple. They are like a rounded post, and they do not speak. They have to be carried because they do not walk. Do not be afraid of them, for they do no evil, nor is it in them to do any good.
So, because they're just a tree.
It's just a tree.
And it's a
Right.
dead tree now because you cut it down. You have to build a platform to stand it up because it can't stand on its own. It can't talk. But then they hang balls of fertility of gold and silver on it. What do we do today? What do they hang? We don't. We don't, Nava. But what do the people out there celebrating the Christmas?
Their finest golds and silvers on their trees.
Gold and silver
trim their
tinsel
trees.
and
It says don't-
balls
It
and
says something about trimming trees too.
it says don't put the trimmings on the tree. Don't put the tree up. Period. And then you bow down to it. How do you bow down, Bailey?
By picking up the present.
Oh, I see a present and it's got my name on it. Bow down, pick it up, and stand back up. Or put a present under there from mom.
And that's how it entices you by these gifts.
And it's all about the gifts. People like to say with their lips, they respect Yahweh with their lips. This is all about Jesus. No, it's not. If it were all about Yahushua, you would be reading the love letter he gave you from the very beginning of the Bible. He gave us this whole book. So if it were all about Jesus, you would know who he is. And that his mama didn't really name him a word that had no meaning. She gave him Yahushua, as the messenger told her, which means the right arm of Yahweh. So you read yours, didn't you? Okay. So we're the society we see today. They're honoring him. They're loving him. So they say. But what does John 2:3-4 say?
1 John 2:3-4.
1 John 2:3-4. If you love him, what are you going to do, Grant?
Okay.
We're going to guard his commands. And why do we walk out Torah? Why are we guarding and being obedient to Torah? Because we love him. Did you fall?
He's all over the place. Sorry.
Are
you gonna do what she said?
Oh, I thought you just read it.
No, go ahead and read
Okay.
No, I was
I was like, okay, never mind. 1 John 2:3-4 says, that one who says, I know him, and does not guard his commands is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoever guards his word, truly love of Elohim has been perfected in him. By this we know that we are in him. The one who says we stay in him ought to himself walk as he even walked.
Guys, when Yahushua was on the walking on this ground, were there Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, 1 John, 2 John, Paul's
No.
writings? Were there any of these?
No,
Okay, then what was he referring to the commands?
the front of the book.
The front of the book. You got to go to the front of the book to know the commandments, because nowhere in the New Testament does it give you the commandments of Yahushua, of Yahweh. Nowhere. The ones that were given through Moshe.
And just that in itself should nullify anything that says that the law's been done away with. or
Hold
whatnot.
on. There's just two. Love Abba Yahweh with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. That's all I have to do.
No.
But where did those come from? Leviticus. They came from the front of the book. But in order to do this, and truly, if you do all of the commandments that we are commanded in the festivals or in Leviticus 23,
It's too hard for anybody to follow the commandments though.
Oh, it's way too hard, isn't it?
But he
Listen-
said it's not even too hard.
Well, that's what Moshe says. Listen, they're not too high that you can't
Yeah,
reach up
you
and
can't.
get them. It's not so low that you can't do it. And he repeats this in Hebrews. Every
But that's the
Don't go
excuse.
to the right or to the left, just stay in the middle.
That's right. That's okay. I just want to read this really quick. In my pages are so stuck together. Leviticus 23, the very first. So all of Leviticus 23 is about his festivals, but we want to follow our festivals. I don't want to do what he wants me to do. I don't want to celebrate Shabbat or the Sabbath when he wants me to. I want to do it when I want to do it, and I want to do the celebrations I want to do. That's where we are. Rebellious, spoiled brats. 23:1. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yasharel and say to them, the appointed times of Yahweh. The appointed times of Yahweh. Doesn't say anything about the appointed times of the Jews, guys. And this is what I hear. Well, those are for the Jews. No, I'm sorry. Uneducated, untaught, one who is twisting the word of Yahweh. That is not what it says. He said that these are his appointed times, which you are to proclaim as set apart gatherings. They are my appointed times, and they are these. And this is what these are from Yahweh's mouth. 6 days you work. So the very first one he talks about is the seventh day Sabbath. You do no work. It's the Sabbath to Yahweh. These are the appointed times of Yahweh, set apart gatherings, which you are to proclaim at their appointed times. It doesn't say I would highly recommend you do this. It says you are to proclaim them.
I highly recommend you do this.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. If you don't
It's not a recommendation, right?
Yeah.
He is. This is a commanded. These are
Yeah.
commanded feasts. You are to do them.
Yeah.
Okay. And listen, Yahushua did them himself. He enjoyed the feast.
He wasn't doing Christmas.
He wasn't
Or
You
doing.
don't
Easter.
have to sacrifice a lamb when you do them because it's already been done.
Yeah, the lamb does not get sacrificed unless you're in Israel
Right.
and unless you're at the temple. Now, if you're at the temple, the lamb will be sacrificed. Listen, guys. After Yahushua comes back, there will still be sacrifices, and it will be done in the temple. Probably the temple he's going to build,
Where it should be done.
where the only place that Yahweh says that it can be done. You can only do sacrifices at the place of his name,
So what
which is going to be
sacrifices-
in Zion.
So
There's
what
going to be.
sacrifices can we do now? From the
It's the bulls of our lips. That is very good. Our praise, our worship, our adoration for him. There's a place in the Bible where it says we should be speaking his word so often that it breaks our teeth. That is one of my favorite verses, and I don't know what the name of it. Do you know where it is?
It's in
in
Hebrews.
Hebrews 14, I think.
Pull that up, because literally, even the picture of that is like, we should be just sitting around. I mean, when we're eating, when we're walking down the road.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds like the Shema. When we come into our place. Yeah.
Hebrews what?
13, 15.
Would you read that one?
Okay.
Just that one verse.
Through him, then, let us continually offer up a slaughter offering of praise to Elohim. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name.
Okay, but there's a place in Scripture where it literally
Yeah, I think
says
you're talking about
that
the bull of your lips.
no, it's not the bull of your lips. It says you're talking and praising about him so much that you're breaking your teeth. I mean, literally, it says that. And I'm like, wow, such a picture. But the people, if you love him, if you truly love him, you're going to keep these commandments that he gave us on Mount Sinai. They are not done away with. And listen, if you're not keeping them, you're not getting into the kingdom. So he goes on to say, and this is what Seth read earlier. You say if a man says, 12, you no longer let him do any matter at all for his father or mother. You are nullifying the word of Elohim through your tradition, which you have handed down, and many such traditions you do. Christmas, which Seth just read from Jeremiah 10, says don't do that. Don't do the things they're doing in the foreign nations. So there's Christmas, there's Easter, there's Halloween, there's
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, there's Sunday worship. Listen, you can worship every day of the week. But the one day he says, don't do any work. Don't do what you want to do. This is a day that you set apart to him. Literally, he says, you don't work. You don't do the things you really want to do. I want you to spend it with me. All the other 6 days of the week, do whatever you want. But this one day, I want you to spend it with me, the creator of the universe, the lover of our very spirit, the one that breathed the breath of life in us, wants to spend 24 hours with us. And who all wants to spend it with him? We do. But what do the other people say?
Yeah, but even if they're keeping it on Sundays,
They're not
when
keeping
they
it.
get out of church, they go eat. They're making people work and they're doing money transactions.
There you go.
Or you're not even keeping it regardless of the day that you want to keep it on. or
That is
whatever.
exactly right.
You're not even keeping it. So it's irrelevant.
That is totally right. I want us to look at a few more verses here. We're going to look at Colossians 2. And then we're going to
Get on in.
get on in. Somebody's moved my Colossians again.
Someone did that, huh?
Somebody moved my Colossians and somebody else didn't push that button. We got all kinds of issues going on. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go to 2, and I'm going to start in 5. For though I am absent in the flesh, yet I am with you in spirit, rejoicing to see your good order and the steadfastness of your belief in Messiah. Therefore, as you accepted Messiah Yahushua the Master, walk in him. Listen, how do you walk in somebody?
Spirit.
In the Spirit? Listen, walk in the Torah.
Yeah.
You can, every place that it says Messiah, you can exchange that for the word Torah. He is a walking, talking, living, breathing Torah. So, as you have accepted the Messiah Yahushua, walk in the Torah. Walk in the Torah. He doesn't. He can't get any clearer. Having been rooted and built up in him and established in the belief, as you were taught, overflowing in it with thanksgiving. See to it that no one, listen to this, see to it that no one makes a prey of you through philosophy, through empty deceit, according to the traditions of men, according to the elementary matters of the world, and not according to Messiah. Because in him dwells all of the completeness of Elohimness bodily, and you have been made complete in him, who is the head of all principality and authority. So you need to walk as he walked. It just says,
And out of the man.
Pardon?
Basically, walk as he walking out of the man.
That's right. That's right. Don't walk as all these, what do you call them? Dudes? All these dudes on the street are walking. You walk as Yahushua walked. You're not going to be, listen, you're not going to be acting like these other guys. You're not going to be partying with these other guys. You're not going to be
Speaking.
You're not going to be entertaining the pagan world. Your heart will change. Your whole world will
We
change.
can probably change someone else too, just by our walk.
And that's the whole point, is that we should be
This
changing.
is what Yahushua did for us.
That's exactly right. Let's go to Ephesians 4. Wow.
You lose that one too?
Yes.
It's right before it.
Ephesians 4, and we are going to go, I think it's to 15. Let me look here. Let's start on 11. And I want you to pay attention to what I'm fixing to read in 11, because you're not going to find rabbis and you're not going to find Pharisees anywhere in what he gave us, okay? And he himself, which is Yahushua, Yahweh, he himself gave some as emissaries, some as prophets, some as evangelists, and some as shepherds and teachers. What? Where did the rabbis go? What? Well, Yahushua himself said, do not call anyone rabbi. Did he not? How many men are out there saying, I'm rabbi? Call me rabbi. I'm the rabbi. Don't call anyone rabbi. Don't call him a rabbi. So this is why he's given us the emissaries, the prophets, the evangelists, the shepherds, and the teachers. for perfecting of the set apart ones to the work of service, to the building up of the body of Messiah. Listen to this now. Until we all come to the unity of the belief and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the measurement of the completeness of Messiah. We are to become as Messiah is walking, guys. Tells you right here. This is why you've got teachers. It's to help for the perfecting of the set apart ones, to the work of service, to a building up of the body of Messiah, until we all come to the unity, to the oneness, to the akkadness of the belief and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, to a perfect man, until we all come to a perfect man. This is what Yah wants of us, to guard and do his word. Tells us in Deuteronomy, is it 10:12, where he says, what does our Father ask of you? Except to guard and do his will. Guard and do his commands. That's his will for everyone. People want to search and find out what it is. Guard and do his will. Because by doing it, what does it do? It protects you, it guards you, and it helps you to walk as Messiah walked. But maintaining the truth in love, we grow up in all respects and into him. We grow up into him who is the head, Messiah. By walking it out, by doing his commandments, by maintaining truth in love, we grow up into, it says here, grow up in all respects into him. You grow up into Messiah, who is the head. So we should, when we get to the door, which Yahushua says he is, you should look like him, you should act like him, you should walk like him. Now, can we get in there without him? Nope. And we're going to see that in Galatians. Because without him, you are not going to get through the door, right?
Correct.
Okay, let's go to Isaiah 51. So we see right here that the traditions of man are luring many people away from the Word of Yah. Why? And you said it earlier. You can't walk with Yahushua and Hasatan at the same time, right?
Correct.
Isaiah 51. Listen to me. And this is Yah speaking. Yahweh speaking. Listen to me, you who pursue righteousness, seeking Yahweh. Look to the rock you were hewn from, and the hole in the pit you were dug from. Look to Abraham your father, and to Sarah who bore you. For he was alone when I called him, and I blessed him and increased him. For Yahweh shall comfort Zion, and he shall comfort all her waste places, for he makes her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of Yahweh. Joy and gladness are found in it, thanksgiving and the voice of song. Listen to me, my people, and give ear to me, O my nation, for the Torah goes forth from me, and my right ruling I set as a light to the people. My righteousness is near, my deliverance shall go forth. My arms judge people, coastlands wait upon me, and for my arm they wait expectantly. What is Yahushua's name? What does that name mean?
Right arm of salvation.
They wait on my arm. Guys, look what they miss by throwing the front of the book away. Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look on the earth beneath, for the heavens shall vanish like smoke and the earth wear out like a garment, and those who dwell in it shall die as gnats. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh.
I mean, what do you do with a gnat? You swat it.
Swat it.
Or you pull out the Zevo and you poison them. But my deliverance is forever, and my righteousness is not broken. Listen to me, you who know righteousness. Ho, ho, ho. Hold on. Who's he talking to? Us. He's talking to those. Listen, who knows righteousness? The set apart ones. What makes you set apart? Deuteronomy 6:25. Would you read it? Deuteronomy 6:25. Listen, we have to be righteous, guys. You have to be righteous. But is his righteousness going to get you? Well, hold on. We're going to get to that in a second. What does Deuteronomy 6:25 say, Grant?
And it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all this command before Yahuah our Elohim as he commanded us.
It is righteousness for Bailey, for Bethany, for Seth, for Grant, for Waylon, for Wesleyan, and for Duke, wherever he may be. It's righteousness for us when we guard and do what he's told us to do in the front of the book. That is our righteousness. Our righteousness gets us to the door. But when you get to the door, you're not getting in without what? His righteousness. He is the only perfect righteous lamb, right? So listen to me, you who know righteousness, you who know my commandments, a people in whose heart is my Torah. He tells you right there. You who are righteous are those who know my Torah. Do not fear for the reproach of men, those who make fun of you, those who laugh at you because of your tzitzits. Don't fear because of their reproach, nor be afraid of their revilings, for a moth eats them like a garment, and a worm eats them like wool. And that's quite a picture, isn't it? But my righteousness is forever, and my deliverance to all generations. Awake, awake, and put on strength, O arm of Yahweh. Awake, awake, O Yahusha. Awake as in the days of old, everlasting generations. Was it not you who cut Rahah apart and pierced this says crocodile, but the word is actually dragon. What was a dragon? Hasatan? Is that who? That's who we usually call the dragon, right?
Yes.
Was it not you who dried up the sea, the waters of the great deep, who made the depths of the sea a way for the redeemed to pass over? Guys, he's going to do it again for us, right? And let the ransomed of Yahweh return, and they shall come to Zion, with singing, with everlasting joy on their heads. Now listen, the righteous will come to Zion. The righteous will come into Yisrael. It doesn't say, come as you are, and when you get here, you're going to be righteous. Does it?
No.
It doesn't say, come doing whatever you want, and when you come into the land, Wesleyan, when you come into the land, you can do it. Then you become righteous and you obey the commandments. Doesn't say that, does it? It says, those who are righteous will come into the land. Let's see, where am I? And they... Let the ransomed of Yahweh return, and they shall come to Zion with singing, with everlasting joy on their heads, and let them attain joy and gladness. Sorrow and sighing shall flee away. So this is those who are the righteous, who he's calling back home. I am he who comforts you. Who are you that you should be afraid of man that dies, and of the Son of Man who is made like grass? That's a pretty strong word right there. Don't fear men who can kill your body. Kill Yahweh who can kill the spirit, right? And you have forgotten Yahweh, your maker, who stretched out the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth. And you continually fear all the day because of the rage of the oppressor, for he is prepared to destroy. And where is the rage of the oppressor? Bowed, he hastens to be loosed, that he should not die in the pit, and that is the bread that should not fail. But I am Yahweh your Elohim, stirring up the sea, and the waves roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name, and I have put my words in your mouth, and with the shadow of my hand I have covered you, to plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and to say to Zion, you are my people. Awake, awake yourself, rise up, O Jerusalem. You have drunk at the hand of Yahweh the cup of his wrath, and you have drunk the dregs of the cup of reeling and drained it out. That is the cup for the adulterous woman, right? Because everyone drinks from it. It determines who's guilty or not. Of all the sons she bore, she has none to guide her, and of all the sons she has brought up, none is strengthening her hand. But these are coming upon you, who is sorry for you, ruin and destruction, scarcity of food, and sword. How shall I comfort you? All of this is coming upon us, and I believe it is coming upon us quickly. Let me see something here. Okay. Your sons have fainted. They lie at the head of the streets like a gazelle in the net. They are filled with the wrath of Yahweh, the rebuke of Elohim. Why? Why are we seeing the wrath of Yah? Why are we seeing the rage that he is letting loose on his...
Disobedience.
Okay. Is it because of the traditions of men?
Yes.
And it's because they have turned their back on Yahweh. Therefore, please hear this, you afflicted, and drink, but not with wine. Wait, excuse me. Please hear this, you afflicted and drunk. You're drunk, but you're not drunk with wine. Thus said Yahweh, your master, and your Elohim, who pleads the cause of his people. See, I shall take out of your hand the cup of reeling, the dregs of the cup of my wrath, and never again shall you drink it. And I shall put it into the hand of those who afflict you, and have said to your being, bow down, and you pass over them. And you made your back like the ground in the street to walk over. Awake, awake, and put on your strength. Listen, I want us to go, I think it's going to be back here. Okay, so we see what happens from obeying the traditions of man, not turning back to Yahweh. Let's go to Deuteronomy. And here we are in the Torah portion for today, and we're not going to read the whole thing, but I want you to see what happens by disobeying. So this Torah portion actually starts in 26:1, and it shall be when you come into the land. So listen, guys, coming into the land, these are the obedient ones that are coming back into the land. You understand that, right? Well, bye. If you're not going to remain obedient within the land, what are you going to get? What's going to happen to you? Bye. No, where are you going? I didn't mean bye. Oh, okay. She's leaving. I was like, I didn't really mean bye.
She said bye to me. I'm leaving. Bye.
So if you go into the land and you do not remain obedient, and we're going to see that he even has them post on the borders the commandments that he's telling them to do. When you come into the land and you're not obedient to these commandments, you end up like us. What happened to the 10 tribes of Yasharal? He divorced them. What else?
They were enslaved, and they also went to the four corners of the world.
You're right, Grant. Man, you're good. So the 10 tribes left Jerusalem. They never came back there. They went to the northern portion of Israel, which is what they were called, the northern house of Israel. They were called the lost 10 tribes. And what happened? When Assyria came in, they captured all of these people. They took them off to Assyria, and what did they put in their place?
The Assyrians.
They put Assyrians, they put Ishmaelites, they put Edomites, they put other people that they had captured. So they filled all the homes of the 10 tribes of Israel. They couldn't come back. So when they went to Assyria, did their captivity there, and they were released, they went, as Grant said, to the 10 corners of the world. They didn't come back to Israel, or to the 4 corners. Thank you. Grant's like, 10 corners? What? That would make like a circle. To the 4 corners of the earth. But they didn't come back to Israel. And here we are. Here we are awakening. What did he tell us in Isaiah? Awake. Awake. We're waking up and we're going, hey, what are these commandments that we're reading about? Listen, the first time I read through the scriptures, I was like, I was so excited. I went to my pastor and I was like, have you ever read the book of Deuteronomy? Of course, he probably had, but had he studied it? Probably not. But I was like, did you read about the curses and the blessings? Because listen, guys, and I didn't put this in the title, but this is where, look around you. Inflammation, sores that are unhealable, plagues. Look around you. Confusion. This is where all of this comes from. Disobedience to the Torah. It's a curse. So we're fixing to get into all that, but he's telling them, and we're going to hit a few spots in here before we go forward. Look at 26:5. And you shall answer and say before Yahweh your Elohim, my father was a perishing Aramean, and he went down to Mitzrayim. He sojourned there with a few men, and there he became a nation, great, mighty, and numerous. Who was that Armenian? It was Yaakov. So he started out as Avraham. Then we have Yishak, and then we have Yaakov, his son. Who was Yaakov's brother?
Esau.
Esau. So some of the Edomites were probably put into the homes of the 10 tribes of Israel. Okay, so we see here, this is where they went into Mitzrayim, to Egypt. Yahweh brought them out. And let's look over here. And we're going to look. Look at 16. So we're in 26:16. Today, Yahweh your Elohim, how long? We've got an hour and 14 minutes. And 14 minutes wasn't even heard. Today, Yahweh your Elohim is commanding you to do these laws and right rulings, and you shall guard them. And you shall do them with all of your heart and with all of your being. So, Grant, what does it mean to guard?
To do the commands and
If Mom tells you, guard, I'm going to let you go to the movie today because you're fixing to have your license. She might say, Grant, you can drive, you and Betty go to the movie. You better guard your sister. What does that mean?
protect her.
When you
Protect
go to
her.
Arkansas for 3 weeks, and you're at Val's house,
What'd you do?
and Val goes to work, you protect her.
Just like that.
Guard and protect. So, what are we to do with, he tells us here, you shall guard and do them. And he's talking about the commandments, the laws, the Torah. Guard them. Listen, if someone came up, if I came in, broke into your house and I was like, I'm going to take Bailey, what would you do?
Chop off your hands.
You'd be like, my little sister, yay. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Bethany.
But I think it's also like a spiritual guarding too.
Yes.
Because he's got to learn that. He's about to be a man, you know? He's got to learn to spiritually hold down the fort when we're not around.
That's right.
So
Spiritually.
if you see her doing something wrong, you go to her in love and you learn to submit, because you're going to have to submit, and you thank him, you know? And that's kind of where it comes down to. It's hard.
She's like, what?
What? Why do I have to do that?
She said, I like the guarding part.
But that's
But
probably
the
the
submitting
same with
thing is
Waylon and
different.
Duke, too. It's the same thing
Yeah.
with Waylon and Duke.
That's right. Well.
Well.
Well. Okay, you have today caused, and I'm in 17, you have today caused Yahweh to proclaim to be Elohim and to walk in his ways and guard his laws and his commands and his right rulings and to obey his voice. And Yahweh has caused you to proclaim today to be his people, a treasured possession, as he has spoken to you, and to guard all of his commands. How many times does he have to say this? Guard all of his commands, and you will find them in Exodus 19 and 20. So as to set you, guard all of his commands, so as to set you high above all the nations. You want to be different from everyone else? Guard and do his commands.
He reminds us several times.
Yes, over and over and over. Which he has made for a praise and for a name and for esteem and for you to be a set apart people to Yahweh your Elohim as he has spoken. So now we come to 27. And what does he say right off the bat? Moshe, with the elders of Yasharel, commanded the people, saying, guard all the commands which I'm commanding you today. Listen, he's giving this to the second generation. That's 600,000 that didn't die in the wilderness, that are going into the new land, and it's still about 635,000 that are going into the promised land. So he's giving this to those kids. They were 20, or they were below 20, 19 or under, when he gave the commandments the first time. So he wants them, this is what he's telling them, and it shall be on the day when you pass over the Jordan to the land Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, you shall set up for yourselves large stones and plaster them with plaster, and write on them all the words of this Torah which you have passed over, so that you go into the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, a land flowing with milk and honey, as Yahweh your Elohim of your fathers has spoken to you. And it shall be, when you have passed over the Jordan, that on Mount Abal you set up these stones which I command you today, and you shall plaster them with plaster, and build a slaughter place to Yahweh your Elohim there, a slaughter place of stones, and do not use iron tool on them. Build the slaughter place of Yahweh your Elohim with complete stones, and you shall offer ascending offerings on it to Yahweh your Elohim. What's an ascending offering, Grant?
Completely burnt offering to Jehovah Elohim.
completely burned offering that you are offering to Yahweh to draw nearer. So he's like, set these commandments up, do them on Mount Ebal. And Mount Ebal is the Mount of Blessings. The other mountain is Mount Gerizim, and it's the Mount of Curses, right?
Good and evil.
So, Seth, I'm going to get you. Let's see. Well, and here in 9, he says it again. Moshe and the priests, the Levites, spoke to all of Yasharel, saying, Be silent and hear, O Yasharel, this day. You have become the people of Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, and do his commands and his laws, which I command you today. This is not a temporary or a time important commandment. This is forever. And Moshe commanded the people on that day, saying, These are to stand on Mount Gerizim and bless the people. I got it totally backwards. Gerizim is a mount of blessing, and Ebal is a mount of curses.
That's the way I look at it. Is like G for good, E for evil.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it. So I want you to listen to this. The people that the men that are on Mount Gerizim, which I tried to look this up, but it was said that in this day, Mount Gerizim was covered with beautiful green grass and green trees, and that you look over to Mount Ebal, and these are sister mountains. They're like sitting side by side, and there's a valley down in between where you could speak, and everyone on the mountains could hear you because of the acoustics. But Ebal was like rocky and craggly and nothing alive on it. So you've got a beautiful green mountain of blessing, and you've got this dead mountain of curses. But look who's on the mountain of blessings, and I apologize for steering y'all wrong on that. On the mountain of blessing is Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yissachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. All of these are sons of Leah and the sons of Rebecca. Is that not cool? Rachel. Sorry, again. They're the sons of Rachel and Leah. Who's missing from Leah's children? Look at those on Mount Ebal. Very first one. Reuben. Oh, Reuben.
Reuben, Gad, Asher.
Bad boy, Reuben. We're going to see what Reuben did, and it's going to be one of the curses that he has to announce out. But this is why he is not on the mountain of blessing. So on the mount of curses, we have Zilpah, and we have Bilhah's children, plus Reuben, one of Leah's children. And what you're going to do, Seth, is you're going to read these curses and bless, and what we're going to do is say Amen, meaning we understand what that curse is, and we are in agreement with you. Okay.
Okay. Cursed is the man who makes a carved or molded image, an abomination to Yahuwah, the work of the hands of the craftsman, and sets it up in secret. And all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who makes light of his father or his mother, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who moves his neighbor's boundary, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who misleads the blind in the way, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who twists the right ruling of the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who lies with his father's wife, because he has uncovered the corner of his father's bed, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who lies with any beast, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who lies with his sister, the daughter of his father, or the daughter of his mother, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who lies with his mother-in-law, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who strikes his neighbor secretly, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who takes a bribe to strike an innocent being, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed is he who does not establish the words of this Torah, and all the people shall say,
Amen. Cursed is he who does not establish the words of this Torah. Oh.
That's a lot of things.
Hello. Okay, so look back up in here. Cursed is he who makes light of his father and his mother. So, that's just the opposite of honoring them. And so you were asking earlier, what would be dishonoring them? So anything, anything you would say or do for a parent that was not totally honoring them would be just the opposite, dishonoring them. I know. And then look down here. Cursed is he who misleads the blind. Spiritually, cursed is he who misleads the blind. Spiritually, what do we have going on today? A lot of misleading. We have those, what are they called? The wealth preachers up there? Prosperity. You're going to get rich. Send me $1,000 and you're going to be rich. God will return it to you.
Send me money.
Send me money because I got a plane payment. I got a palace payment. I've got. Oh. Cursed is he. Cursed is he. Cursed is he who lies with his father's wife. And this was Reuben's big issue, which is why Reuben is on the mount of curses and not on the mount of blessings. Okay, I want us to go, since we're talking about curses, let's go to Galatians 3:10. Galatians. I love Paul's letters. I really do. I think it's very sad that so many people have turned on Paul because they don't understand what he is talking about. So we're going to start in 5. Let's start in 2, okay? Because what you're going to have to understand is Paul, Shaul, was trained up in Talmud, right? But he had to have the Torah memorized. Torah versus Talmud, 2 completely different animals. Not even the same, okay? So the Talmud he learns is pretty much worthless. Well, let's start in 1. 3:1. Oh, senseless Galatians, who has put you under a spell not to obey the truth, before whose eyes Yahushua Messiah was clearly portrayed among you as impaled. What does Yahushua say? I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. I am the truth. What does it say in Psalms 140, 119, 142? The Torah is truth.
Yep.
He is truth, he is light. So, who has put you under a spell not to obey the truth? Yahushua, before whose eyes Yahushua Messiah was clearly portrayed among you as impaled. This only I wish to learn from you. Did you receive the spirit of works of Torah by the hearing of belief? Are you so senseless, having begun in the spirit, do you now end in the flesh? So guys, let me tell you what's going on here. The Galatians are going back to the Torah only, and they're omitting the belief in Yahushua. What does it say? What does Revelations 12:17 say?
Oh, that's a good one.
And
12:17.
And Bethany, you pull up 14:12. What?
And you want me to read?
Yeah.
Okay. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to fight with the remnant of her seed, those guarding the commands of Elohim and possessing the witness of Yahushua Messiah.
Hello. So, who is the remnant? What is the remnant doing today? They're guarding the commands of Moshe, which is the Torah, which is given in the front of the book, and they have got the testimony of Yahushua. Bethany.
Here's the endurance of the set-apart ones. Here are those guarding the commands of Elohim and the belief of Yahushua.
Again, these are the remnant that are fighting the enemy, and this is the end of the book. It's the end of the book. It's Revelation. It's those who are guarding the law of Yahweh and the belief and the testimony in Yahushua. So, are you so senseless, having begun in the spirit, in belief, do you now end in the flesh? Have you gone completely back to the fleshly Torah or Talmud? Because what was so important to the Jews, and that's who's talking here, the tribe of Yehudah, the Levites, what was so important to them? Circumcision. You got to be circumcised before you come in the temple. No, you don't. Circumcision is a sign of your belief. It's not a requirement for belief. It is a sign of your belief. Have you suffered so much in vain, if indeed in vain? Is he then who is supplying the Spirit to you and working miracles among you, doing it by the works of Torah or by hearing of belief? It's through Yahushua, right? It's through the belief and the testimony of Yahushua. Even so, Abraham did believe Elohim, and it was reckoned unto him as what? Righteousness. Oh, wait, didn't we just go over the definition of righteousness? It's when you guard and do his commandments. So, Abraham believed Elohim, and it was reckoned to him as righteousness. Had Yahushua been born yet? Didn't have the testimony of Yahushua yet, but he believed everything that came from the mouth of Elohim. And who was Elohim in reality? At this point in the stage, who was talking to Abraham?
Yahushua.
Yahushua. He came in the Father's name as the right arm of salvation. And he's the one who dealt with Abraham, because Yahushua tells us in the back of the book in John, he says, no one's seen the Father, nor has anyone heard the Father's voice. So it was Yahushua from the beginning to the end that was talking. And not until the very end in Revelation does Yahweh come down to reside with us, the peoples. Okay, know then that those who are of a belief are sons of Abraham. And the scripture, having foreseen that Elohim would declare right the nations by belief, announced the good news to Abraham beforehand, saying, all the nations shall be blessed in you. So that those who are of the belief are blessed with Abraham, the believer, the righteous believer. You got to go back and look. He was righteous. For as many as are of the works of Torah are under the curse, as it has been written. Okay, here's the curse. The curse of sin and death. What did we just read? Cursed is he who makes a carved image. Cursed is he who makes light of his father and mother. Cursed is he who moves his neighbor's boundary. Cursed when you're not obedient to his... When we're going to go through the blessings and the curses. But guys, the curse he's talking about is a curse from disobedience. For as many as are of the works of Torah are under the curse, for it has been written, cursed is everyone who does not continue in all that has been written in the book of the Torah to do them. If you sin, you're going to what? D-I-E. And it is an eternal death. So people have twisted this so all to pieces. So you're cursed, because we're fixing to finish this Galatian thing right here. Cursed are you when you do not do as it's written in the book of Torah. You have to be obedient to it. And that no one is declared right by Torah before Elohim is clear. For the righteous shall live by belief. Guys, you have to understand the definition of righteous to understand that through belief, the righteous will live. You got to have both. You got to have the belief in Yahushua, and you've got to be righteous. And listen, without the belief in Yahushua, you can be righteous, obeying and doing his commands, and you can get to the door. And without the testimony of Yahushua, you're not getting through the door. And the Torah is not a belief, but the man who does them shall live by them. You shall live. Without the Torah, you are not going to live. You're going to die. So Messiah came and he redeemed us from the curse of the Torah, the curse of the law of sin and death. Because there is no sacrifice we could make for the rebellion's sin, for sin of rebellion, right? Just death, eternal death. So Messiah came and he redeemed us from that curse. So cursed is everyone who hangs upon a tree, in order that the blessing of Abraham might come upon the nations in Messiah Yahushua, to receive the promise of the Spirit through belief. And you can go to the belief chapter in Hebrews, and what does it say? Through belief, Abraham offered up his one and only son, Yishak, because he believed Yahweh would save him. Now, was Yishak his first son? No. Ishmael was. Through belief, Noah built that big, huge boat. Right? And it was counted unto him as righteousness. Because if you believe, you're going to do. So through belief, you're going to be obedient. Okay. Do we get
You see
that?
what happened with Peter when he didn't.
Yeah, Peter. Otherwise, you're going to sink.
Yeah.
Okay, 28. And it shall be if. What's that word?
The biggest two-letter word.
Did we just do something important? Okay. And it shall be if you diligently, without fail, obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim to guard to do all of his commands, which I command you today, that Yahweh your Elohim shall set you high above all of the nations of the earth. Who doesn't want that? We need that today. We need that today. But what is our nation? I'm going to tell you what our nation is. It's a killer of babies. And I fear that very soon we're going to have the harlot of the killer of the babies in power over this. And I'm going to
Yeah, I agree.
Aberstash. And all these blessings shall come upon you, and they're going to overtake you if you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. Have you ever been plowed down by blessings? Just so overrun by blessings that they just overtake you and they just, whew, they carry you. I'm ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed are you in the city, and blessed are you in the field. Blessed is the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your livestock, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flocks. Blessed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed are you when you come in. Blessed are you when you go out. Yahweh causes your enemies who rise up against you to be smitten before your face. They come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways, because you're going to be so mighty and strong. Because what does the Torah do? It blesses you and it protects you. It might make you look like 100 men. Might make you as strong as 100 men. Yahweh commands a blessing on you in your storehouses and in all to which you set your hand, and shall bless you in the land with which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. And Yahweh does establish you as a set-apart people to himself, as he has sworn to you. And I have, my wording has scribbled through right there. Can you read that next sentence? It's 9, the last of...
Yeah. If you guard his commands if you guard the commands of Yahuwah your Elohim and walk in his ways.
Whoa, there's that little 2-letter huge word. He's going to establish you as a set-apart people unto himself, as he sworn to you, if you guard and do all of his commands. And walk in his ways. What is walking out Torah? It's walking in his ways. Mm-hmm. It's what we do every single day, no matter if anyone's watching us or not watching us, right?
Right.
And it's not easy.
He's always watching.
We know that he is always watching.
He's always looking.
And all the peoples of the earth shall see that the name of Yahweh is called upon you, and they shall be afraid of you. And Yahweh shall make you to have plenty of what is good in the fruit of your body, in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground, in the land which Yahweh swore to your fathers to give you. And Yahweh opens to you his good treasures. I can't wait to get back to the promised land. Can y'all?
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait.
Take me home.
Country roads.
That's cool too.
Okay, we sang a new song today. Take Me Home, and all I could think of was John Denver's old. You too, right? Okay, so Yahweh opens to you his good treasure, the heavens, to give the rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, but you do not borrow. And Yahweh shall make you the head and not the tail, and you shall only be on top and not beneath. What does it say? If you obey the commands of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you today to guard and do. There is a blessing for being obedient to his commandments, guys. And do not turn aside from any of the words which I am commanding you today, right or left, to go after other mighty ones to serve them. And it shall be, if you do not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard and do all his commands and his laws which I command you today, that all of these curses shall come upon you, and they're going to overtake you. And as in Galatians it says, if you're obedient to his commands, you're going to live. The righteous will live through belief. The righteous are those doing his commands. Guys, it's so simple. Why have we taken it and twisted Paul's words and made it so difficult? Cursed are you in the city, and cursed are you in the field. Cursed is your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed is the fruit of your body. Cursed is the fruit of your land, the increase of your cattle, and the increase of your flocks. Cursed are you when you come in, and cursed are you when you go out. Yahweh sends on you, listen to this, Yahweh sends on you the curse, the confusion, and the rebuke, and all that you set your hand to do, until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly, because of the evil of your doings by which you have forsaken me. Guys, look around us. And this is this was probably 20 years ago when I went and I was like, look at the blessings. Look at the blessings in Deuteronomy. Look at the people around us who are sick. We all know we have loved ones that have died with cancer. And listen, there's a consequence for the choices we make. There's a consequence for the lives we live. If we live it without Torah, if we live it without Yahusha, you're going to have these curses. And I'm not done. But this curse, look around. Oh my goodness. I want to climb up on the soapbox, but these little girls and little boys, they don't know what they are. What are you? I'm a frog. Yesterday, I was a beetle. Tomorrow, I know I was born a little boy, but tomorrow I might want to be a little girl. Well, let's just cure you and have you surgically altered. Guys, listen. Yahweh sends on you the curse, the confusion, the rebuke, and all that you set your hand to do until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly because of the evil of your doings. What happens when we take all these men and we destroy their reproductive capabilities? And the women, the same thing. We cut off their breasts so they can no longer nourish or feed a baby. We change I don't know what goes into all these surgical procedures or the hormones they give them, but what happens? We stop procreating. We don't have any more babies.
You're basically taking away from the Word of Yahuah, and you're just doing your own thing.
What was his first commandment?
Be fruitful and increase.
Yeah.
Grant just said it. Go forth and multiply. Be fruitful and populate.
It's crazy what they give them. They give them like pills to stop their hormones or whatnot, and it's.
They have a deeper voice.
And
Yes.
it's like even worse of like in other states, they can start this at 5 years old, and the kid can go to the counselor and tell the counselor and nurse, and the parent can't do nothing about it because it's the kid's choice.
Yeah.
Guys, we're here.
I will be danged.
We are here. He sends on you. What does our nation want? Oh yeah, let's just welcome all these weird people into our society, and call him her. I saw that.
So look.
He's like, what? So we're here. Okay, Yahweh makes the plague. Plague cling to you until he has consumed you from the land which you are going to possess. Yahweh strikes you with wasting disease and with inflammation and with burning and with extreme heat and with the sword and with the blight and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. Your heavens which are over your head shall be bronze, and the earth which is under you shall be as iron. Nothing will grow in iron. Rain cannot fall from bronze. He will not provide. Who is responsible for opening the womb and bringing rain?
Oh,
Yahweh. Only Yahweh. He is the only one who opens the womb, and He is the only one who brings rain. It's Him alone. These are His blessings. Yahweh makes the rain, oh, there you go. Yahweh makes the rain of your land powder and dust. From the heavens it comes down on you until you are destroyed. These curses are frightful. Yahweh causes you to be defeated before your enemies. You go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. And you shall become a horror to all the reigns of the earth. And your carcasses shall be food for all the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the earth, with no one to frighten them away. Yahweh shall strike you with the boils of Mitzrayim, with tumors, with the scab, with the itch, which you are unable to be healed. So, all kinds of diseases. Look around again. Who is the most, well, if they weren't treating all of the people who are here illegally, what would be the most prosperous group of people? Insurance and hospitals.
Yes.
What's growing and expanding right now? The hospitals.
Yep.
Why? Because nobody is being obedient to Torah. Guys, listen, I have noticed with me myself, from the time I began being obedient to Torah, Yahweh has healed things within me. I know for a fact I would not be alive today had I not changed my walk. I would not have been. I had already had a heart attack by 45. I had systemic lupus. I wouldn't be here today. Would not be here today. But Yah has healed all this. He's healed so much in me. And I'm still not healed completely because there are consequences. There are consequences for the choices we made when we were young. But my walk has changed my life. It has changed my health. It has changed my spiritual walk. So there is healing in obedience. Okay, He shall strike you with madness and blindness and bewilderment of heart, and you shall be groping at noon as a blind man gropes in the darkness, and not prosper in your ways, and you shall be only oppressed and plundered all the days with no one to save you. You become engaged to a wife, but another man does lie with her. You build a house, but do not dwell in it. You plant a vineyard, but you don't get to use its fruit. Your ox is slaughtered before your eyes, but you don't get to eat it. Your donkey is violently taken from before you, and it is not given back to you. Your sheep are given to your enemies, with no one to save them. Your sons and daughters are given to another people, and your eyes look and fell for them all day long, and your hand is powerless. This is hopelessness, guys. And I'm seeing hopelessness in our streets today. Look at the people who don't have a home. And I'm going to tell you, the repossessions haven't started yet. All the repossessing, well, unless you're from Venezuela and they're possessing properties in Colorado now, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're just taking what they want. A people whom you have not known will eat the fruit of your land and all of your labors, and you shall be only oppressed and crushed all of the days, and you shall be maddened because of the sight which your eyes see. Excuse me. Yahweh strikes you in the knees and on the legs with evil bulls, which you are unable to be healed, and from the sole of your foot to the top of your head, and Yahweh brings you and the sovereign whom you set over you to a nation which neither you nor your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other mighty ones, wood and stone. This has already happened once. It will happen again. We have served the goddess of Asherah, the Asherah goddess, and Baal, and Molech, because we have sat back and we have allowed all the babies to be killed. How many of you have attended an anti-abortion rally? How many of us have spoken up? How many of us have written to our congressman? How many of us have gone to a clinic and volunteered our time to talk to these mothers who are coming in and need help? Guys, listen. We're as guilty as everyone else. We're a part of this nation, and the curse of the nation falls on all of us. This nation has killed over 65 million babies. Why? For self. And do you know now? Do you know now that the possible future VP of our country, in his state, the baby can be born, and the doctor will sit down with the parents and decide if within the next 6 days they want to take the baby out. You can't argue that this is not a live being. The rights of the mother? Are you kidding me? She lost her rights when she became pregnant. She has no rights after that. There are lots of women out there that would love to have a baby, and they would love him, and they would raise him or her up. We've killed 65 million. What would this nation be like without all those children slaughtered? We'd be a blessed nation, wouldn't we? Highly blessed. 65 million. We're coming into judgment, guys. This nation is coming into judgment. And we're in this nation, and we're going to be part of that. Abba will protect his obedient ones. But just like the curses that came on Mitzrayim, the Israelites got hit by the first few. Okay? We're going to see some bad times. But what are we supposed to do? Pray to get out of the tribulation?
Work through it.
Sorry. Am I putting you to sleep back there, friend? No, we don't pray to get out of it. We pray for strength and guidance to make it through it and to help others. And that's what these live streams are about. Wake up. Wake up while you've got time. Wake up and wake up.
Yes, ma'am.
Wake up while there's time. Okay, thus you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a mockery among all the peoples to whom Yahweh drives you. We have been the crown, haven't we? Look, I was looking the other day. Look at LA, look at San Francisco, look at Seattle, look at Chicago, look at New York. Look at all these beautiful cities where people loved to go. And they were gorgeous. It was just a treat to go to these cities.
Not anymore.
You don't go there now. You can't go there now. Denver. Now you can add Denver and Aurora to that list. This video will probably not see the light of day. You can add all these, but the crown, these beautiful gems, which were the crown of the United States, and we were so proud of, gone. Our country will never be the same. You're going to be a mockery among all the peoples. We're about there. Got a man sitting on the beach while war's going on, and he can't even get his drink out of his little drink holder. War's going on. Where are our leaders? We don't have them now. We're a mockery. The people are sitting around in Europe, in Australia, in Africa. And what are they doing? They're laughing at what's become of the United States. We're no longer what we used to be. We're no longer power. You take much seed out into the field, but you gather little in, for the locust consumes it. You plant vineyards, and you shall labor, but you neither drink of the wine nor gather, for the worm eats it. We got fat worms, no wine. You have olive trees in all your border, but do not anoint with oil, for your olives drop off. You bring forth sons and daughters, but they are not with you, for they go into captivity. Locusts possess all your trees and the fruit of your ground, and the sojourner who is among you rises higher and higher above you. But you come down lower and lower. This is what they're doing right now, guys. Who's taking the properties? These strangers, the sojourners who are among us. We're seeing the prophecies and the things that have happened in the past. what comes around goes around, and it's coming back again. And listen, this nation is not so great that it cannot fall. Where should we be? We should be in, what is it, 2 Chronicles? Repenting. But would you go to that verse?
Said 14.
Yeah. This is where we should be. But the people don't understand what this verse means.
It says, "And my people, upon whom my name is called, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face, and turn from their evil ways, and I shall hear them in the heaven, and forgive their sin and heal their land."
My people upon whom my name is called, do they even know his name? I mean, you can start with the very first verse. He said, if I shut up the heavens and there's no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, and my people upon whom my name is called, the majority of them will argue with you. Oh no, his name's God. It's God. That's his name. Or Lord. That's his name. Is that his name? Grant, what is his name?
Yahuah or Yahuah.
And we can go back to the ancient text. Let's see. Was it Ashton that was showing us a text from 200 BC? They found the oldest, no, it was further back than that. They found the oldest scroll, or it was a book that they found. Goodness, I wish I could remember. It's in our text. But they found, it was a silver scroll on which they found the name Yod He Wah He in Paleo. In Paleo. This is his name. What happened to it? It got hidden away. It got changed. Why? Because there is power in his name. If you know his name and you use it, there's power in that name. Is there a name in the word God? Which God are you talking about? Zeus? Are you talking about the God over there in Greece? Are you talking about the gods in Africa? Are you talking about the gods in South America? Which God are you talking about? Because that is a huge, that word encompasses a lot. So my people upon whom my name is called, they shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their evil ways. The people today don't even know they're following an evil way, guys, because it's being taught from the pulpit. Law's been done away with. Pray the prayer, jump on the grace train, and you're ready. And what are they doing? They're waiting for a rapture which shall not come and take them out of the tribulation. They're waiting for something that's not going to happen. There will be a rapture. But the only thing that we're saved from is the day of wrath. And if you're not turning back to Yah with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul, you're not going to be in that taken away. I shall hear from the heavens if they turn from their evil ways, and I shall forgive their sin and heal their land. Now my eyes are open and my ears are attentive to the prayer of this place. What does Proverbs 28:9 say? I'm going to read this next sentence too. And now I have chosen and set this house apart for my name, to be there forever, and my eyes and my heart always shall be there. And this is the place where he placed his name, in Jerusalem, on the Temple Mount.
He who turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer is abomination.
Uh-oh. So those who have said we're not under that, what are you calling it? The Torah? I don't even know what that is. We're not under that. So are their prayers being heard? Abba can answer prayers. It's his choice. It's his choice. But he's not, so can Satan. You better be careful who you're praying to. I'm just saying. Okay. Go down to 52. They shall besiege you in all your gates. This is scary. They're going to besiege you in all your gates till your high and walled fences in which you are trusting come down. They're going to besiege you, but your walls are going to come down. Well, sadly, we don't have very many walls right now around our nation. And our cities are not walled. And most of our houses are not walled. They shall besiege you at all your gates and all your land, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you, and you shall eat the fruit of your own body. Cover the baby's ears up. I don't want them to hear this.
Weird.
You shall eat the flesh of your sons and your daughters, whom Yahweh your Elohim has given you, in the siege and distress in which your enemies distress you. This has already taken place in Israel. It's already taken place. You can go to 2 Kings 6.
6:26.
6:26. And this already took place once. It says, the man among you who is tender and who is very delicate, his eye is evil against his brother, against the wife of his bosom, and against the rest of his children whom he leaves behind, against giving any of them the flesh of his children that he eats. Because it is all that has been left to him in the siege and distress with which your enemy distresses you in all your gates. Could you ever possibly be so hungry that that's what you turn to? The tender and delicate woman among you, who has not tried to set her sole of her foot even on the ground, because she's so delicate and she's so tender. Her eye is evil against her husband of her bosom, and against her son, and against her daughter, and against her seed, which comes out between her feet, and her children whom she bears, for she eats them in secret. Isn't that horrible? Did you cringe back there? If you do not guard to do all the words of this Torah that are written in this book, to fear this esteemed and awesome name, Yahweh, your Elohim, then Yahweh shall bring upon you and your descendants extraordinary plagues, great and lasting plagues, and grievous and lasting sicknesses. And he shall bring back on you all of the diseases of Mitzrayim. And guys, we can go back to the book of Yashar and read all the plagues that came on Mitzrayim. Gonna come again. They're gonna come again. All the diseases of Mitzrayim of which you were afraid, and they shall cling to you. Also every sickness and every plague, and I cannot read the next one.
Every plague which is not written in the book of the Torah, Yahuwah does bring upon you until you are destroyed.
Everything that he threw on Mitzrayim, plus things that are not even written in the book. He's going to devise some new plans to torture you. And you shall be left with few men, although you had become as numerous as the stars of the heavens, because you did not, and here it is, because you chose not to obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. You didn't want to obey his commands. Guys, there are consequences, and it's not going to be pretty. And this nation is heading headlong into those consequences. And it shall be that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do good and increase you, so Yahweh does rejoice over you to destroy you and lay you waste. And you shall be plucked from off the land which you go to possess, and Yahweh shall scatter you among the peoples from one end of the earth to the other, and there you shall serve other mighty ones which neither you nor your fathers have known. They're going to be made of wood and stone, and among those nations you are to find no rest, nor have a resting place for the sole of your foot. But there Yahweh shall give you a trembling heart, failing eyes, and a sorrow of being. Basically, you're going to hate life. And your life shall be hanging in suspense before you, and you shall fear night and day, and not be certain of your life. In the morning you say, oh, that it were evening, and at the evening you say, oh, I wish it were morning, because of the fear in your heart for which you fear, because of the sight your eyes see. There's no telling what we're going to see when the gates are opened, and what he's got coming we see. Guys, but we don't have to fear, do we?
No.
He is going to protect his set apart ones. You know, when all the plagues hit Mitzrayim, Egypt, what happened in Goshen? When it was total darkness, so dark that they couldn't even move in Egypt. In Goshen, there was no darkness, right? They could see everything. So he will protect his remnant. And that's sad that it's going to be a remnant. And Yahweh shall bring you back to Mitzrayim in ships by a way which I said to you, you are never to see it again. And there you shall be sold to your enemies as male and female servants. But there's not going to be anyone to buy. These are the words of the covenant which Yahweh commanded Moshe to make with the children of Yasharel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moshe called all Israel and said to them, You yourself saw all that Yahweh did before your eyes in the land of Mitzrayim to Pharaoh and to all of his servants and to all of his land. Your eyes saw the great trials and the signs and those great wonders, but Yahweh has not given you a heart to know and eyes to see and ears to hear until this day. Listen, today, may Yahweh open the eyes and the ears and the hearts of the people who are not following him right now. May he make even those who are following him but are kind of sitting on the fence, may they get off the fence and may they pursue him with all their heart, might, and spirit. He said, I've led you these 40 years in the wilderness. Your garments haven't even worn out. Your sandals have not worn out on your feet, and you ate no bread and drank no wine, nor strong drink, so that you might know that I am Yahweh your Elohim. And when you came to this place, Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, came out against us to battle. And we struck them, and took their land, and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh. Therefore, you shall guard the words of this covenant and do them, so that you prosper in all that you do. You shall guard and do. Guys, it is so simple. But what do we want to do? We want to do whatever we want to do and still be blessed, right?
Yes.
Guys, this is my favorite Torah portion because it just puts together the curses, and it lets you see why Shaul says to the Galatians, if you're not obedient to this Torah,
It's going to happen.
you shall not live.
Yep.
And he's talking about eternal life here, guys, not temporary life. So everybody's getting ready because they're hungry. We want this for y'all. We want you to be awakened. Listen, there are a lot of Torah teachers out there. We're not the only ones. If you happen to come upon us today and you're curious, listen, there's Parable of the Vineyard with Adam Fink. There is Triumph and Truth. Listen, Triumph and Truth, this man, what is his name? Gary Simpson?
Gary Simons.
Gary Simons, I'm sorry, my apologies. He's very good, but listen, he used to be, maybe still is, a brother-in-law to Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
Huh. He was married to Joel, or still is married to Joel Osteen's sister. Had a mega church in Dallas, huge mega church. And when he was awakened to the truth and to the front of the book, he left everything behind, and he is now a Torah teacher. And you can find him in Triumph in Truth. His ministry is really, really good. I say his ministry is good for those just coming into this walk, because he's not as harsh as I can be or some other teachers can be. Am I harsh?
No.
Flattering lips will
Truth.
get you nowhere. But guys, listen. Our time is drawing very close to the end. Our 6,000 years on this earth before we go into the millennial time period is very close. It is very close. And so we don't have time to waste. We don't have time to be nice, do we?
No.
No, we've got to be honest, and we've got to tell you the fullness of truth. If you've got questions, please contact us. And we've got two scriptures that we've got to get out.
Okay.
Don't let me forget.
I'll remind you.
Okay, thank you. And one's going to India.
Oh, cool.
So we've got a friend in India. He's like, I want these teachings. So thank you, Abba, for awakening the people around the world. So we've already got friends in Africa.
Uganda.
Yeah, in Uganda. They're teaching Torah there. But guys, listen. It is a remnant. That means there's not very many. And I'm not going to be surprised if the remnant isn't 10%. That's Abba's tithe.
Yeah.
So 10% is what will probably be of everyone who's ever lived. That's not very many people.
Not at all.
Are we vibrating? That's weird. Oh, it's the footsteps. We've got glasses shaking over here. I was like, are we having an earthquake?
Cool.
It's called
Earth thing.
a Wayland earthquake. Huh. Guys, we love you. We do pray. I pray, and I know that you guys do too, for our live streamers.
Yes.
Please share this live stream. We will go on there and maybe whack off the front 13 minutes. Can we do that?
I have no idea.
We don't know much about technology. We were
Talking about you can cut it. I just know that.
we
need
are
a shame.
we need a Shay. We need a Corey. We need someone who's way smarter than him. No, I'm kidding. And me. Because we just, Ashton no, he doesn't know how to do it either. But guys, please share this video. We will cut the front part off where we were just like, and nothing was coming out. So we'll try to cut that off if we can find someone smarter than we are. But be blessed, and would you pray us out, Seth?
I'll be all. Thank you for this day, Father. Thank you for watching over us, Father. Continue to work in each and every one of us, Father. Help us turn from the traditions of men and turn towards you, Father, with all of our heart and with all of our souls and all of our might, Father. We love you and bless you. Bless your holy set apart name in the precious name of your Son, Yahushua. I pray this. Amen.
Amen. And thank you for joining us today. And thank you. Please like our video. We also post to the Way of Truth through Torah on YouTube. I'm trying to get to all of that. But please share it. This is the only reason we're doing it. And we may not be able to do it soon. So share it, get the word out there. And that's the only reason we're doing live streams, is to try to get the word out there and wake up our friends and our family and those that we've never even met before. But one day we may meet you in the kingdom. That would be our joy. So Shabbat Shalom. And until next Shabbat, be blessed. And if you've got questions or if you want a scriptures Bible, please messenger us. We will get them to you. Shalom. That was scary.